That's a name probably you don't want to say too fast.
You know, he's got just about as many letters that in his last name as I do, so I feel it. I get it.
Well, yeah, but yours is a little bit easier to say.
not all the time.
Well, that's true, but I mean, you know, if you know you, we know how to
Yeah.
pronounce it. Setting the pace, it is Logan Fitzpatrick gets the green. Lance Melke, Logan Fitzpatrick. Here comes the 82 of Dylan Fitzpatrick on the outside of his brother to take second away. Lance Melke, Dylan Fitzpatrick, Logan Fitzpatrick, Shannon Pospischel. Followed by Max Anderson. But it is still Lance Melke, Dylan Fitzpatrick, Logan Fitzpatrick. Now he's being challenged on the inside by Shannon Pospischel for third. Max Anderson. Lance Melke, but look at this. Here comes Dylan Fitzpatrick. Says, not so fast, my friend. Shannon Pospischel, Logan Fitzpatrick battling for third and fourth. Max Anderson. You know, I have a 48 car out there. Do you see a 48 on my sheet? First heat race. Brian Harms, the 48. Okay. Now the battle's on. Dylan Fitzpatrick on the low side. Lance Melke on the high side. Dylan Fitzpatrick gets him at turn number 4. 2 laps to go. White flag's out, 1 to go. It is Dylan Fitzpatrick. Lance Melke, Shannon Pospischel, Max Anderson, Logan Fitzpatrick, and Brian Harms. Checker flag's out. It's going to go to Dylan Fitzpatrick. Lance Melke second. Shannon Pospischel third. Max Anderson in fourth. Fifth will go to Logan Fitzpatrick. Sixth will be Brian Harms. So your winner from Magnolia, Minnesota, driving the 82, it's Dylan Fitzpatrick. So top 3 will go to A feature. The rest will have to transfer through a B feature. We have 27 cars here tonight, the IMCA Hobby Stocks. Setting the point, Zach Swigard brings him to turn 4. Mike says, let's go racing. Actually taking the lead, that is Stephanie Reynolds. Battling to her inside, that is Nick Kimmel. So Stephanie Reynolds with the lead, Nick Kimmel. Running 1 and 2, third's going to go to the 96. I believe that might be Austin Lundquist. Running in the third spot, followed by, I believe that might be Joe Rosberg in the 3J. But no, he's getting passed on by the 31K of Nate DeSive. Looks to the inside of Lundquist for that third spot. Stephanie Reynolds, Nick Kimmel, Nate DeSive. Oh, Lundquist clear up the track. DeSive in the third, Rosberg into that fourth spot. Lundquist goes to fifth. Then I have a 51B out there, and I don't have a 51B on my sheet. Bristol Arneson. So evidently my sheets are not corresponding with some cars I have out on the track. But this is corresponding, a battle for the lead between Reynolds and Kimmel. Kimmel gets her out of turn number 4. Nate DeSive right there in third, followed by Joe Rosberg. Bristol Arneson in the 51B. Zach Swigard and Christy Rosberg. Nick Kimmel, Nate DeSive, Stephanie Reynolds, Joe Rosberg, your top 4. White flags out, 1 to go. Checkered flags coming out for Nick Kimmel, Nate DeSive, Stephanie Reynolds, Joe Rosberg, Austin Lundquist, Bristol Arneson, and Zach Swigard. And then Christy Rosberg. Your winner, driving the K17, that is Nick Kimmel. To make it sound like we think it should sound, but it doesn't sound like that. Trent Mathey from Lamar's, Iowa. So we got Minnesota, South Dakota, Iowa, Nebraska. We got 4 states here. But setting the pace, Tanner Bourne in the 77 brings the field to turn 4. Mike gives him the green. Let's go racing. Mark Arduzer says, hammer down, it's time to go. Mark Arduzer, Nate Buck, Jim Kimmel, Travis Coover, Tanner Board, Jace Malachek, the Netto battles on between Mark Arduzer and Nate Buck. There's Jim Kimmel, Travis Coover, Tanner Board, then Jace Malachek, and Trent Mathey. Oh, Nate Buck laying the low chrome horn to the 4 of Mark Arduzer going into turn 4. Still can't get by him. Jim Kimmel's right there in 3rd with Travis Cooper tucked right behind him. Tanner Board, Jace Malachek, Trent Mathey. Still the battle's on the lead between Mark Arduzer and Nate Buck. Buck dives to the inside. Turn 1, side by side out of 4, drag race down the backstretch. Nate Buck, Mark Arduzer putting the show in the 3rd heat race here of your hobbies. Jim Kimmel, Travis Cooper right there in 3rd and 4th. Tanner Board, Trent Mathey, and Jace Malachek. But look at this battle, nose to nose, side by side, lap after lap between Mark Arduzer and Nate Buck. Whoa, little rubbing. Come out, turn 4, white flag, 1 to go. So still a drag race down the backstretch into turn number 3. Oh! Trent Mathey, checkered. Mark Arduzer, Nate Buck. Whew, Trent, you were facing the wrong way in a one-way, as our friend Mr. Patterson would say. But your winner, the 4 of Mark Arduzer. Him and Nate Buck, give him a round of applause. That was a heck of a show there. So the free live looking, so let your friends know, free live looking on Facebook on Late Model TV. And a happy birthday to Kenny Ron. Happy birthday, Kenny. And let's go racing. Wyatt Lehman, Dustin Jackson. Trent Johnson in the 19, battling there in that 4th spot. Oh, here comes Jason Wilkinson, right up in the front of the nose of Trent Johnson. It is Wyatt Lehman, Dustin Jackson. Look at this. Digging to the inside, it is Jason Wilkinson on the 58T of Tanner Euling, Trent Johnson, and Anthony Brune. Wyatt Lehman, Dustin Jackson, Tanner Euling, Jason Wilkinson, Trent Johnson, and Anthony Brune. Still a battle side by side for that third spot between Wilkinson and Tanner Euling. Euling now clears him, now looks to the inside of Jackson for second. Wyatt Lehman, Dustin Jackson, Tanner Euling, Jason Wilkinson, Trent Johnson, and Anthony Brune. 3 laps to go for Wyatt Lehman. Tanner Euling, Jason Wilkinson, Dustin Jackson, Trent Johnson, Anthony Brune. Around this time with 2 laps left to go, it is Wyatt Lehman, Tanner Euling, Jason Wilkinson, Dustin Jackson, Trent Johnson, and Anthony Brune. White flag is coming out, 1 to go. Here it is Wyatt Lehman. Tanner Euling holding off Jason Wilkinson, Dustin Jackson, Trent Johnson, Anthony Brune. Now Wilkinson looking to the inside of Euling for second. The final corner is going to go to Wyatt Lehman, Tanner Euling, Jason Wilkinson, Dustin Jackson, Trent Johnson, Anthony Brune. So your winner from Norfolk, I call him the red-headed stranger. That's the 6 of Wyatt Lehman. So 10 laps of distance, top 2 to the back of the A main for the Hobbies. Max Anderson, Travis Cooper, let's go racing. Logan Fitzpatrick, Joe Rosberg, Brian Harms in that 5th spot. Lap 1 goes to Max Anderson, Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick, Joe Rosberg, Tanner Board. Whoa, somebody's around sideways. I believe that's Jace Malachek around sideways there in turn 1 and 2, but keeps it going. We stay green. Max Anderson, Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick, Joe Rosberg, Tanner Board, Brian Harms, Christy Rosberg, Jace Malachek. But Max Anderson leads. Travis Cooper in second. Logan Fitzpatrick in that third, and not transferable. What am I saying here? He's one outside looking in. Down the 6 laps, it is Max Anderson, Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick. Yellows out, I believe, for Christy Rosberg for the feature. Okay, we're Tanner Board's thinking we're going to go Delaware, and there's the green. Max Anderson, Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick, Tanner Board, Brian Harms. Oh, Anderson around, look out. Woo-hoo. And he's sitting there. Yellows out for the 15M of Max Anderson. And then Trent Mathey and Jace Malachek. Six laps to go. Let's go racing. Logan Fitzpatrick looking on the inside of Travis Cooper for the lead. Here comes Brian Harms. Oh! Jace Malachik around in turn number 2. Max Anderson around in the backstretch. Yellow. So Jace goes around in turn 2, and then, oh no, that was Tanner Board decided to go around in the backstretch. It looks like Max Anderson had pulled off. Top 2 to the A main. 5 laps to go, 5 cars. And let's go racing. Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick, Tanner Board, Brian Harms. Ooh, Brian almost got in the outside wall coming out of turn 2. Then Christy Rosberg. It is still Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick, Tanner Board on the outside looking in, Brian Harms and Christy Rosberg. Coming around this time, 3 laps to go. It is Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick, Tanner Board, Brian Harms, Christy Rosberg. Two laps to go. Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick, Tanner Board, Brian Harms, Christy Rosberg. White flags out, 1 to go. It is Travis Cooper, Logan Fitzpatrick, Tanner Board, Brian Harms, and Christy Rosberg. Checker flag is going to go the 7-11 of Travis Cooper. And the 221 of Logan Fitzpatrick will qualify for the A main. Then it's Tanner Board, Brian Harms, Christy Rosberg. So the 2 go the A main will be the 7-11 of Travis Cooper and the 221 of Logan Fitzpatrick. And we're going green. Top 2, 10 laps. Final B feature in your Wild Things, your IMCA Hobbies. Sean, are you enjoying yourself?
Every time I'm here, absolutely.
I mean, I got to tell you what, those Tri-State late models scream around here.
I love it.
I mean, the noise, just the noise. But anyway, we got noise here. Joe Rosberg, Dustin Jackson off into turn number 1. I tell you what, look who's getting racy out there, the old 55 of Anthony Brune. Look at him go. Woo! Him and Bristol Arnold almost had a meet-me moment. But Anthony Brune, all of a sudden, he decided, I'm going to hit the loud pedal. We're going to get it going here. But it's Joe Rosberg, Dustin Jackson. Austin Lundquist in the 196, followed by Trent Johnson and Anthony Brune. Bristol Arneson and Zach Swigard. Joe Rosberg, Dustin Jackson. Austin Lundquist. Oh, Lundquist looking for second. That was a meet me, uplift, and separate moment right there between Trent Johnson and Austin Lundquist. And they're battling with Dustin Jackson for that second and final transfer spot. Joe Lundquist said, see ya, y'all can battle behind me, and that's exactly what they're doing. Dustin Jackson, Trent Johnson, Austin Lundquist, Anthony Brune, then it's Bristol Arneson and Zach Swigard. 4 laps to go for Joe Rosberg, Dustin Jackson. Trent Johnson told a little of that damage from when he got in the rear end of Austin Lundquist. 3 laps to go for Joe Rosberg. Lundquist around in turns 3 and 4. Tick, tick, tick. He's trying to get it fired up. He got it fired up. Yellow's out. So Austin Lundquist, who was up there battling for the second spot, will pull it off now. We're bringing out the yellow. Joe Rosberg, Dustin Jackson, Trent Johnson. Here we go. We got a replay up. Uplift and separate. Yeah, he ain't bump drafting here at the dirt track. Joe Rosberg to turn 4. 3 laps to go. Top 2 to the A main. Joe Rosberg. Look at Trent Johnson in the 19 with a big run on the outside. Trent Johnson, high, wide, and handsome. Joe Rosberg, Trent Johnson, Dustin Jackson. Johnson going for the lead. And Johnson gets it out of turn number 2. Trent Johnson, Joe Rosberg, Dustin Jackson. Anthony Brune's going to go around in turn 4. And he keeps smoking, smoking that left rear. He says, I'm not lifting. Keeps her going. Coming around the checker flag, your top 2 is going to be Trent Johnson, Joe Rosberg. Then it's Dustin Jackson, Bristol Arneson, Zach Swigard, and Anthony Brune. But the 2 cars going to the A main will be the 19 of Trent Johnson and the 3J of Joe Rosberg. Nick Kimmel on the inside of row number 4. Outside of him, Tanner Euling in the 58T. Parade lap. Get on your feet. Wave at your favorite driver. Wave at them all as they come out of turn number 4. It is your Wild Thing Hobby Stocks. Inside row number 5, Dylan Fitzpatrick from Magnolia, Minnesota. Outside of him, Dearest Mother, Nate DeSibe. Row number 6 to the inside, it's Nate Buck, and outside of him, Jason Wilkinson. Row 7, Travis Cooper on the inside, Trent Johnson on the outside, and then rounding out the field, Logan Fitzpatrick and Joe Rosberg. But Stephanie Reynolds leads the gentleman in the turn number 4, and let's go racing! 15 laps the distance. 16 of your favorite hobby stock drivers out there. Reynolds leads them into turn number 3. Stephanie Reynolds 3 wide. Lance Melky with Wyatt Lehman and Jim Kimmel. Stephanie Reynolds hugging the inside. There's Lance Melky breaking away from Jim Kimmel. Then it's Wyatt Lehman. Here comes the double out buckshot, the coach, Shannon Pospischel. It's Reynolds, followed by Melky, Kimmel, Lehman, Pospischel, and here comes the 4 on Mark Arduza. But it is Stephanie Reynolds, Lance Melky, Jim Kimmel, Wyatt Lehman, Shannon Pospischel. There is Nick Kimmel. Right behind double out buckshot, the coach Shannon Pospischel. Then in the 4 of Mark Arduza. Then you have Nate DeSibe battling the 82, and that is none other than Dylan Fitzpatrick. Ooh, one up on the high side. Slow. And yellow's going to come out. 19 of Trent Johnson leaving the track. Looks like they said he broke a tie rod or a tire. Yeah, I think the tie rod went. So Stephanie Reynolds has the lead. She brings him into turn number 3. Mike's got the old eagle eye on her out of turn number 4. Looks good. Let's go racing. Stephanie Reynolds hugging that inside line. Jim Kimmel and Lance Melke. Now Melke gets a big drive out of turn number 2. Side by side with Reynolds for the lead in turn 3. 3 wide in the mid-pack. Fitzpatrick, Tanner Euling, and Nate DeSibe. Drag race for the lead. Stephanie Reynolds, Lance Melke. Whoa, that's close at the line there between Stephanie Reynolds and Lance Melke. Then it's Jim Kimmel, Wyatt Lehman, Shannon Pospischel, Nick Kimmel, Mark Arduzer. Whoa! Lehman falling off the pace. Look out. Nick Kimmel around. Nobody touched him. Nobody touched him, but he's going to sit there, and the yellow comes out. But, oh, nice piece of driving by the drivers there because Nick Kimmel went around mid-pack, and nobody touched him. So once again, setting the pace, the 7 of Lance Melke. Brings them to turn number 4. Mike says, now let's go racing. Lance Melke, Stephanie Reynolds, 3 wide out of turn number 4. Shannon Pospischel, Nick Kimmel, Wyatt Lehman, Jim Kimmel. Man, that's a hornet's nest behind third place. Lance Melke, Stephanie Reynolds, Shannon Pospischel. Now going high, wide, and handsome. That's a 6 of Wyatt Lehman. Nick Kimmel, Jim Kimmel, Dylan Fitzpatrick. Battling on the outside of Nate Buck. Then it's Mark Arduzer. There's still Lance Melke with 4 laps to go. Stephanie Reynolds, Shannon Pospischel. Lance Melke, Stephanie Reynolds, Shannon Pospischel, Nick Kimmel, Wyatt Lehman, Jim Kimmel, Dylan Fitzpatrick, and tucked right behind him, the bro, Logan Fitzpatrick in the 221. The battle of the brothers, and the Blood brother says, hey, I'm behind you. Get a moving. Lance Melke, Stephanie Reynolds, Shannon Pospischel. Whoa! Logan Fitzpatrick got squeezed out by the 52 of Jason Wilkinson. Coming to the white flag, 1 to go. It is Lance Melke, Stephanie Reynolds, Shannon Pospischel, Nick Kimmel, Wyatt Lehman, Jim Kimmel, Dylan Fitzpatrick, Nate Buck, Jason Wilkinson, Nate DeSibe. Coming to the checkered flag, not going to be denied. Lance Melke, Stephanie Reynolds, second, Shannon Pospischel, third, then it's Nick Kimmel, Wyatt Lehman. Whoa, Fitzpatrick squeezes up in front of the 52 of Jason Wilkinson. So we need to see down there in the hobbies, Gage Kimmel. Gage Kimmel is our junior trophy presenter.